Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. I have had a lot of people ask about coffee. How we make it, how to store it, what's the best ways to do it, and our morning routine. For everyday regular coffee, we take 36 ounces of filtered water out of our Berkey, and we put it in here, and it's measured out. Ultimately, it will go into the boiler. This is a fantastic little quick boiler, and you power it up and it gives you the temperature range, which is colored: green for 175, purple for 185, 195, 200, and on and on. And it works really good. So we make our coffee this way. This is a pour over system, stainless mesh filter, and you pour your coffee grounds in here and you pour your coffee slowly, and it's a pour over, and it pours over the grounds, fills this reservoir up. Takes a little time. It's really, really good cup of coffee if you like the flavor of coffee. But it is a really, really good flavor of coffee. We also use this to store our coffee in. It's an airtight container, made by Rubbermaid, I believe, and it will hold 48 ounces of coffee. This is ground coffee. This is a dark roast, community coffee, I want to say. Isn't that right, babe? Yeah. Normally we get a medium roast, but we bought a dark roast because of shortages. That lasts us a long time. We drink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups a day between 3 adults in the house. Now, regular everyday coffee. That's a good way to do it. How do you do it long term? How do you store it? How do you make it? Well, let's go downstairs. We'll take a look. Okay, guys, now we're back. This is our coffee storage for short term. Short term for me is about 6 months out, maybe a little bit longer. I can reasonably keep coffee. These are in vacuum sealed bags. This is a community coffee. We keep 4 46 ounces of coffee. Normally we keep a 5th one right here. We've just poured that. We haven't gone to the store yet to replace. We put the new one in the very back, rotate everything forward. This is already ground coffee. That's important. It will probably not be fresh tasting if we didn't buy any more and use that 6 months supply of coffee. But you know what? It still has caffeine in it. It would still taste something like coffee. I don't care how it flavors as long as there's caffeine in it. This is a French roast whole bean coffee. I have had it stored in larger containers and just parsed it down as we used it since 2018. This coffee is 4 years old, and if you could smell it, if we had smell-o-vision, man, that smells good. One thing you can do, if you ever just need a quick jolt, you can eat a bean or two. Be careful though, that's a lot of caffeine in there. Let's tighten that all the way up. And now we get to our longer storage options. These are freeze-dried instant coffee. It's got caffeine, and it tastes like coffee, which is the biggest concern for me. I don't care about the Starbucks, Frocomoke, whatever you call it. Half calf, decaf, no calf, latte smoothie, freebie, twisty. I don't care about that. I drink coffee. I like for it to taste like coffee, and I want caffeine. That's all I care about with coffee. So my taste and your taste might be different. And I'll show you something along the lines that my wife likes. She likes creamers in her coffee. So we keep one of those, last about a month. We keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of creamer for her. And then when she wants to do that fruity coffee, she can do that. We keep 5 of those. So that will last a pretty good while. Now we're going to do long-term coffee preps. More to come. Okay guys, now we're back. I want to show you, this is some of our long-term coffee preps. I had this marked to pull it open 2022, so it's time to open it up and check it. In it, we have coffee for 1 year. That was based off of 2 cups a day for myself and my wife. So we have to adjust for our daughter now. It had creamer and matches. Interestingly, you'll see this thing was sealed so tight that the lid actually broke. So it might not be a bad idea to keep a few extra lids hanging around. These are always covered. They're not around a lot of light or anything like that, but how about that? But it's good. Now, in it, it's a pack of condiments. I don't use any of these. But there's creamer, there's artificial sweetener, there's sugar, there's a paper towel, and there's a couple of swirly straws. And this is interesting. And some people are going to say, oh my God, you can't vacuum seal it because now the sugar will be hard. Who cares? Nope. The sugar will just be hard then. Crumble it up, put it in your coffee, or crumble it up and put it in your tea, or in whatever it is you want to sweeten. So to me, it really doesn't matter. If you don't like the, if you don't use the napkin, well, that could be toilet paper. But these are vacuum sealed. This will last forever. Sugar lasts forever. Artificial sweetener and creamer aren't real anyway. But there we go. Now, we have some things that I have used and tried before and vacuum sealed. And you'll see we've got an oxygen absorber in there. This has been vacuum sealed, and it was already vacuum sealed. And some of these things I try just to do different things in different ways. This is vacuum sealed. These are individuals. Why would you have something like this? I can parse this out as onesies, twosies for people if they needed some coffee or wanted to trade or something like that, or to sweeten a deal. Let's dig down a little bit further. Again, we have more coffee, but it is not vacuum packed. This was done in 2018 or 19. I'll have to look in my my contents log. I always keep a box of matches, kitchen matches, with a moisture absorber like this, and I usually keep a strip of sandpaper inside the jar as well. This is an olive jar. I like these jars for exactly this purpose. This actually has a box and a half, so it has maybe 400 matches in there. You see what we're getting to. And then inside here we have freeze-dried coffee, the cheapest stuff I could find, instant Clover Valley coffee. At the time, this was $1 for each bottle. Well, there you go, $1. You can see that it's still loose and just as fine as the day it was freeze-dried. It has, this is good for 32 6-ounce cups. And at the time, I bought, I'm going to say 40 of these jars. And I did not buy them at the same store because I didn't want people to think I was insane. But I went to 4 or 5 local Dollar Generals, and I bought 8 or 10 of them at a time. I guess that would make me still look crazy. This is freeze-dried. They'll say, oh, it's instant coffee. This is freeze-dried. Freeze-dried coffee will last for 20 years. Easily, no problems at all. No problems at all. Now, more to come. Okay, guys, so now we're back. Now, follow me along on this what ifing. Okay, we can always use electricity to boil the water, or gas, or propane. We can always use that. That's not a problem. You can heat it up on your stove
to pour it over. You can put it in your coffee maker to make hot water. If you tap water, it gets hot enough. But there's always a way with the utilities in supply, in service, to heat water. Always a way. Well, what if there's not? It's a good question. You can use a rocket mass stove. It's pretty efficient. Doesn't generate a lot of smoke. Boils water pretty quick. Not too bad for making your coffee. You can absolutely do that. You can use a camp stove. Again, propane. One of those little green bottles. I've got 3 or 4 camp stoves and a bunch of bottles, and then the larger bottles to fill the smaller bottles, and then the adapters to fill them with. Works great. It works very good. You can use honest to goodness wood. I know that's crazy. You can build a fire outside, put a grate on it, make your coffee. You can do that. Now this is another way that I like doing this. Now you require a couple of things. I'll mention 3 different ways to do it. You can use a Fresnel lens, F-R-E-S-N-E-L, Fresnel, from John Pierre Fresnel, I think his name is. He was a French mathematician and physicist, something like that, who developed Fresnel, F-R-E-S-N-E-L lenses that are used in lighthouses. This was in the 1600s, something like that. And they work really well. You can get them off of old television sets, off of the old big box television sets, you know, the cabinet television sets. You can get the lens off of it, and they work really well. I had one, did a whole bunch of videos with it until it finally just degraded from the sunshine. I heated and melted stuff. I had it up to 2,000 degrees, and I was melting metal, which absolutely works great. Those are dangerous. Don't let kids be around them, because if you move it, focus it, something like that, whatever is in it is considered a death ray. But it heats up water really good. You can cook with them. You can also use a convex dish, satellite dish. You can line it, make it smooth and reflective, and there's going to be a focal point inside, and you can boil water. That's another good way. You can use a solar oven, lastly. That's a good way to do it, and they make a lot of different ones. Go Sun is a big one, and I think BC loves his Go Sun. And but I found this, and I got this from watching BC Truck, or BC Blades, and Chris DIY, or DIYer. I saw them using these things, and I thought, holy cow, I've got to have one of these, because these are passive, and you leave it alone, and you don't see a lot of these. This is a RAND, R-A-N-D, solar oven. Now, what the heck is this? This is a vacuum tube. Think of a vacuum tube like in those old television sets. This is a RAND solar oven vacuum tube. You can cook food in it. It doesn't have to be in direct sunlight. You can put this outside, and you can see it's reflective vacuum chamber, and this will heat up to the point of boiling or making steam. So what? Really, so what? You can use it to boil water, clean water, boil it, carefully pour it into a thermos, and you can have water all day long and all night long if you have enough thermoses. I learned that trick from BC Truck as well. You can cook in a thermos, and it saves a lot of energy. If you're going to make noodles, pasta, whatever, any kind of instant soup powder mix, pour it all in there, pour enough water in there, be sure and allow for expansion, cap it, wrap it with a towel or rags or a hay box, whatever you want to. Come back that night and you have a hot meal. And do this a couple of times with thermoses, and you have hot water for cooking and cleaning up your plates and yourself. This thing does really, really good. This is a Rand solar oven, comes with a cap. And then you go to Etsy or some of the other make it and sell it sites, and you can get a drawer slide out for it, thermostat or a thermometer. Put your food in there. You can boil potatoes. You can cook potatoes completely in less than 2 hours on a sunny day. That is crazy because you can't even do it that fast in an oven. This thing does wonderful. Now, what else can it do? Between you and me, and not the government, I can distill water in it. So what? What if that water had some sort of yeast and fruit mixture, or if it had cornmeal in it? What could you do with this? Cap on it, copper line, thumper. You can distill alcohol with this thing. I'm not saying I have done it, because that would be confessing to a crime on YouTube. But you can distill alcohol with this. This is what I would use dang near all the time. I'm probably going to buy another 2 or 3 of these at some point. They're not terribly expensive, or they weren't terribly expensive when I bought this. I bought this 8 years ago for 40 bucks. And then I bought this for around 30. You can use this to make enough water for the day. Passively put water in this, filter it, get all the big chunks out of it, filter it. If you don't have a Berkey or any way of purifying water, put your water in this and it will boil it, steam it. Well, you can distill your water rather than doing alcohol. Why do I say all of this? Coffee. You can use this for your coffee. There's no wood smoke to smell. There's no heat. There's no flames to see. And you have enough water set aside, if you do it right, to have water for cleaning up your campsite, your home site, and yourself. So, this is one of the things that we do and we have. You can cook a meal in this for 2 adults pretty good, and have a little bit set aside for a breakfast in the morning. So consider this, for every 2 good eaters, you need one of these. So if there's 4 people in your group, or that would be coming over to your area, you would need to have 2 of these, or they would need to bring one with them. These things are fragile, glass, you know, and mine stays locked up, put up, set aside, because it would be very, very bad if this thing ever came to falling apart. And again, I'll show you, it's a Rand solar oven. They don't pay me for it. I wish they did. These things are fantastic to have. And again, this is all related to storing coffee. You can use this with your tea, water for soups, stews, cleaning, disinfecting, wound care, stuff like that. We went down a rabbit hole, didn't we? That's okay. This is all related to coffee, long-term coffee storage and, well, application. You can store green berries, green coffee berries or beans for months and months and months. I'm going to say 6 months out. But I can do freeze-dried and it's a lot cheaper. Good God, we've been at this one section of it for almost 10 minutes. I'm sorry, like I said, we went down a rabbit hole, but I wanted to show you different ways. And hopefully this weekend we'll sit down and we will make a meal using this passive solar application. Gonna wrap it up. So there's a million ways to store your coffee, to heat your coffee, and to enjoy your coffee. It's the little things that will get you through when you're SHTFs. Take care of you people, guys.